Welcome back tuning into today's video. Just have a quick look at weather for the next week or so, see what weather's going to be up to. It looks like we're going to turn quite unsettled at the weekend, but there are hints that next week we may start to build high pressure in across the country. Before we get on with the video, I'll just talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on my pages at gaswebbiz.com. If you roll your cursor over green keywords, they'll display ads. If you click through word, you go to the advertising website, be supporting gaswebbiz.com. By doing that, going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly charts. Quite interesting what's going on to the north of the country on this, actually. It's not particularly interesting for the British Isles, but notice this very deep area of blue sitting up over the North Pole and around Greenland on the ECMWF. That is the ECMWF on the left. The GFS is on the right. And again, it's the same idea with a very deep blue area sitting up over Greenland and the North Pole. This is a very early polar vortex getting going up over Greenland. It is indicative of some very cold air beginning to develop around Greenland already. It's colder than normal and has been quite a cold Arctic winter as well, so the melt season up over Greenland and up over the pole has been a little bit less than what we've seen over the last few years. We haven't had quite such an extensive melt season so far. It may change as we go through to the end of August and September, but to be honest, as long as we keep this blue area up over the pole and around Greenland, it's likely to stay quite cold there and quite unsettled as well. Now for us, that really means that the jet stream is being enhanced and niggled a little bit, so we're likely to be seeing more in the way of westerly winds coming across the Atlantic. That's one thing that you'll get from this. You will strengthen the westerlies a little bit, but we've still got high pressure sitting to the south of the country on both the GFS and the ECMWF. The orange colours are indicating above average heights, above average temperature, but that extrapolates to high pressure. They've both got the high pressure still there to the south of the country, so not going to be desperately unsettled over the next few weeks, but certainly, or the next few days I should say, but certainly more probably of a low pressure influence running to the north of the country. Anyway, I thought I'd just start off about it. It's quite interesting to see how the heights are really low up to the north of the country, and as I said, it is quite cold around Greenland, and don't often see it getting that cold this early. For us though, it looks as though we're going to be, as I say, turning quite unsettled at the end of the week and into the weekend. There's the GFS generic chart version of the 500 millibar heights, and again we do see that we've got a lot of low pressure already getting going around Greenland. The polar vortex is already starting to churn away up there. That will only get stronger really over the next few months as we head towards the autumn and winter season. But for Friday we've got this area of low pressure out to the west of the country. That could give us quite an unsettled spell as we go into next weekend. For Saturday the 17th of August we bring that low pressure in across the country. And as we move through to Sunday the 18th, we take that low pressure off to the east coast of Scotland. So it does imply that we're in for quite an unsettled weekend, certainly. There will be showers with longer spells of rain, quite tightly packed ice bars as well, so it's likely to be quite windy and quite cool. But as we go into next week, this is for a week's time, Monday the 19th of August, we're starting to develop that high pressure to the south of the country. As we run through to the middle of next week, this takes us up to the 10-day period, Thursday, the 22nd of August. Definitely signs then that the high pressure is beginning to build in across the country. So, again, this does imply that we're going to have a very unsettled spell at the weekend, and then as we go into next week, we'll start the high pressure getting more and more of an influence. Now, whether that will hang on to the bank holiday weekend, which is just beyond this 10-day period, I'm not sure, and I'll do an update for the bank holiday weekend later on my events page. Yesterday it was looking very good for the bank holiday weekend, and my guess is that will probably keep some sort of high pressure influences going anyway into the bank holiday. The ECMWF again for Friday shows that we're in a slack westerly flow there, a broad westerly flow for Friday. There's below pressure to the south of Greenland at midnight on Friday the 16th. As we run through 24 hours, we'll bring that low pressure in across the country through Saturday and into Sunday. Very much low pressure dominating, so a really unsettled spell possible next weekend. Not sure how much rain there'll be. This is actually deeper with the low pressure and further south than the GFS, so this will be bringing heavy rain rain right across the country next weekend, whereas the JFS will probably restrict the rain more towards Scotland and Northern Ireland. But nevertheless, wherever you are, I think it is going to be quite an unsettled weekend next weekend. As we go through to Monday the 19th, the low pressure sitting in the North Sea, and we've got a very cool north-northwesterly wind coming around that, keeping showers or long spells of rain. Then we tried to reach the high pressure in across the country, but it never really quite makes it as it does on the JFS. Instead, we have this sort of slack low pressure over the country at the 10-day period, Thursday, the 22nd of August, and we've got that high pressure still sitting out to the west. So this will keep it quite unsettled, really, throughout next week, but I'm not sure about that. The solution that we build the high pressure in through next week, probably more well supported than the ECM this morning. The GEM, again, we're bringing that low pressure through across the country next weekend. Again, it's further north with the centre of the low pressure than the ECMWF, so it probably implies that for southern areas we haven't got too much rain going on, but we've got that ECM solution where we bring the low pressure further south across the country, and that would be wetter. But the GFS and the GEM probably not as wet for next weekend, but in any case it will be unsettled wherever you are next weekend, and or at the weekend I should say, and quite windy as well. Beyond that, the GEM wants to build in the high pressure again, so it's very similar to GFS this morning, with high pressure certainly for England and Wales anyway, building in by Thursday the 22nd. But we probably keep it quite unsettled to the north of Scotland. Notice also this build of pressure in the mid-Atlantic. That could be the start of some sort of retrogression and northerly winds developing for the bank holiday weekend. So there's a lot of solutions on the table, a lot of possibilities on the table for the bank holiday, and as I'll be doing updates on that, I'll be doing an update about it tonight. Certainly be updating over the next few days as well. But for the more immediate future, I think we are looking at unsettled weather for the weekend. Certainly looks like an unsettled weekend, quite windy, some showers around as well. And then as we go out beyond that, hints that we're trying to build in high pressure next week, but the ECMWF doesn't really want to go for it until that comes into line. We certainly can't take it too seriously. So very interesting charts. Of course, the bigger pictures have got that very cold sort of air developing around Greenland and to the north of the country, which is going to give us an early sort of polar vortex, and that's quite interesting as well. So quite interesting charts just at the moment. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.